Welcome to the Jungle, Bengals fans. The Bengals are hosting the Cleveland Browns this week, so I figured I'd bring my buddy Thomas Stargell on from the Battle of Ohio podcast. I figured I'd bring him on so that we can preview what we can expect out of the Browns this week. So the Browns are 4-4 heading into this game, and according to Kevin Stefanski, desperate for a win. That's the way that he put it. The Bengals definitely need to watch out for the Browns, but I think the Browns should also be aware that these Bengals are, they're hungry, they're young, and they're looking for respect, and they don't really care how you feel. They don't care that you're pissed off about Odell Beckham Jr. They don't care that Baker Mayfield wants to go get respect. They want to prove that they're a real team that's really ready to go do some really cool stuff.
Yeah, we talk about this on the podcast and predictions. I said that you're gonna get a very focused, a very motivated Browns team this weekend. I'm not gonna say that this whole Odell thing was a good thing. I just think it was it might be a motivation.
Right. So I guess we'll kind of, weirdly enough, lead it off with that. Just real quick, Thomas. We already talked about it a lot on the Battle of Ohio podcast, but what exactly happened with the whole Odell Beckham Jr. situation, and how is that how is that to you gonna translate to this game we got coming up?
What happened with Odell Beckham is actually kind of a question that really nobody knows for real yet. But what we do know is that his father put out an 11-minute video talking about why his son did not receive the ball. He blamed his son on not receiving the ball, and the video is very short-sighted. It's something you should not put out. He also had celebrities like LeBron James and other celebrities tweet hashtag Free Odell on Twitter the night before the trade deadline, causing all kinds of turmoil in the locker room, making Kevin Stefanski look bad, making the general manager look bad, making Baker Mayfield look bad, completely unprofessional of Odell Beckham. Currently, he's trying to get back in practice. The Browns are not allowing him to practice. That's the right thing to do. I'm not criticizing what the Browns are doing right now. The Browns organization are actually doing everything they should be doing. They're keeping him from the practice facility, telling him to go home. They'll probably release him after the Bengals if they do release him. But this whole thing's a mess created by one person and one person only. This is not indicative of the Browns organization. This is indicative of Odell Beckham. And this is indicative on him. He's the cancer here. He's the cancer. Nobody's doing this but him. There wasn't any drama in his locker room until he did this. So this is all Odell. And I just wonder what motivated him to get to this level is my question. But because there's probably more to the story than we know.
I don't know. I've been on record for long before actually we even had a podcast together that I think that Odell Beckham Jr. was a bad addition for the Cleveland Browns. And it wasn't just a Browns thing. I thought he would have been a bad addition for anybody because he brings that kind of, like me first kind of attitude. He brings that diva mentality and that, that thing that can really disrupt locker room chemistry. I've seen, weirdly enough, a lot of Bengals fans out there who are like, if Odell Beckham gets cut, maybe we should go get him. And I'm like, guys, are you out of your mind? Like, first of all, we already have the best wide receiver core in the NFL, bar none. But you want to bring Odell Beckham in for what? Like, so I mean, he's going to get mad too because he's not going to get any targets in Cincinnati's system. And then on top of that, you bring that cancer into your locker room. Like, you don't want that. Nobody wants that. That's ridiculous. But anyway, I'm a little bit more worried about, we need to start off with that because that's the biggest story going on with the Browns right now. But I'm a little bit more worried about X's and O's here. So how do you think that translates to the Browns offense this week? And what do you think we can expect to see out of the Browns offense?
You can expect a more spread offense for the Browns. Like you said, Baker Mayfield plays better without Odell. And I think the reason why is what Kelly Kikabata said is that the Browns offense is a very rhythm-based offense. Baker Mayfield, he plays in a rhythm. Now that you have somebody who probably doesn't run the right routes out of your offense, maybe you might see Donovan Peoples-Jones step up or Anthony Short step up. Obviously, you want to see a big game out of Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry is going to be looking to rebound after a couple of his drops against the Steelers. He's going to probably be trying to rebound from that. So expect to motivate Jarvis Landry. Um, Nick Chubb is going to be 1 week healthier. I said multiple times I'd rather see more Dearness Johnson than Nick Chubb because Nick Chubb don't look fully healthy right now. But with that
Hmm.
said, Nick Chubb is still Nick Chubb. Maybe the Steelers had a good game plan against them. I'm not putting anything past Nick Chubb on being freaking Nick Chubb. So Nick Chubb is still excellent as always. So there's that. So I do see the offense making a rebound, but the key for the Browns is can their defense make timely stops, and that's something I'm not sure they'll be able to do. It's all going to be dependent on Myles Garrett and Jadavion Clowney and Tack McKinney because Jamar Chase is still Jamar Chase.
Hmm.
I do think Greg Newsome could be a good matchup against Jamar Chase, but I don't think that is going to be enough to keep the Bengals from scoring under 30 points.
Well, and that's the thing. You and me have talked about this before, but well, I do think the Browns can probably come up with something to keep Jamar Chase quiet because the Jets did it last week. The Jets were like, well, we're gonna do everything we can. We're gonna like bracket Jamar Chase and take him out of the game. But the problem is when that happened, you saw Tyler Boyd, you saw T. Higgins, you saw a lot of Joe Mixon. A lot. There's so many weapons on this Bengals offense that I just think it can get really overwhelming to try to deal with all of them, especially when you have Joe Burrow as your quarterback who just knows how
Yeah.
to get the ball where it needs to go when it needs to go there. So you were talking about Baker Mayfield, and the kind of impact this has on him, and not only the kind of impact it has on him, but the kind of impact it has on the discussion around Baker Mayfield. What's that
Hmm.
discussion look like right now? Because I know you're a big fan of him, and
Hmm.
I was a big fan of him going to that draft, and I still think he's a very good quarterback, and obviously I'm no Browns fan, but I do like Baker Mayfield as a talent. I think he's got more going on for him than a lot of people give credit for. So,
Hmm.
what exactly is the discussion around him right now? Do you think he's going to get extended? What do Cleveland fans want?
Cleveland fans are all over the place. Cleveland fans, the fan base is literally cut in half on Baker Mayfield right now. It's kind of annoying. So that's that. Um, a lot of people are saying Baker Mayfield hasn't had a good year so far this year. He had a third year. Uh, well, looking very similar to how his year looked with Freddie Kitchens. He's been hurt. A lot of people think that they should shut him down for Case Keenum. Excuse me. So this is a game that he needs to bounce back. Now he does have a torn labrum, but his throwing arm is okay. And you're out there playing. You're out there playing. I don't want excuses.
Hmm.
Um, Peyton Manning won a Super Bowl on an injured neck. So go out there and perform.
That's a good point.
Um, go out there and perform. Like, what's your excuse? You're out there. If you're too hurt to play, then don't play.
Hmm.
So, I think that you're going to see a motivated Baker Mayfield. I think you're going to see a Baker Mayfield that's focused. I don't think that this situation with Odell is going to keep the Browns from practicing hard. That's an underrated thing in football is practicing hard and going through
Right.
the reads. And I think you're going to see a very motivated Baker Mayfield. He's somebody that always played with a chip on his shoulder. And when you give him a big enough chip like Odell Beckham, or Odell Beckham sized chip, he's going to play harder. So through the season, Baker Mayfield may not have played up to expectations, but the past 3 seasons since Baker Mayfield came in the NFL, one pattern that stays true is that Baker Mayfield gets better as the season goes on, especially in the second half of the season. Baker Mayfield always starts to shine, um, in the latter half of the season. That's
Hmm.
something that we have seen in other. That's something that we've seen last year, the year before last, and his rookie season even. So look for Baker Mayfield to start going to run. Looking for him to start to heat up and get in rhythm. So I think Baker Mayfield is going to be trying to play for that contract, but I do not think he's going to get that contract this season, though. Not
Sure.
yet. Not unless he does something spectacular.
You think they'll use the franchise tag on him?
It's too early to tell. It's too
Okay.
early to tell. Honestly, it's too early to tell.
So for the 96th Battle of Ohio, which is what it is, which I think I've said that phrase more times in my life today than I ever will in the entire rest of my life combined.
Hmm.
But it is the 96th Battle of Ohio, 96 times the Cincinnati Bengals and Cleveland Browns have played each other in their extensive history. What do you
Yeah.
think is the biggest thing that the Browns need to do to come away with a win this week?
Um, However, the Browns coming away with a win, you're gonna need pressure with Myles Garrett, Takk McKinley, and Jalen Conley. Like I know Myles Garrett, you ever heard with the quarterback graveyard and all that stuff. That's cute and everything, but you gotta go get some sacks. And I say that as he lead the league in sacks right now. But if you're able to get Joe Burrow off balance, you're able to get those timely picks, or cause Joe Burrow to have a timely pick, then maybe the Browns might be able to make a move on them. But if you let Joe Burrow get in a rhythm, you let Jamar Chase run all over y'all and catch all over y'all, it's going to be a long day for the Browns.
So Thomas, after this game, what are your expectations for the Browns? Like, if they win, then what you're thinking, back in the playoff hunt, right?
You can see an epic. You can see an epic. The worst case scenario is you can see an epic collapse. Kevin Stefanski be more questions could be asked about Kevin Stefanski, and then this thing could unravel, or this team could rally around each other. If they get blown out on Sunday, then that's going to be a problem. And then that's going to be a problem for this team long term. But even if they keep the game close, then that's going to be good momentum going to the Patriots next week. And the season won't be completely over, but it will be damn near close to being over. So I think if they win this, they're going to be right back in the playoff hunt, going to the Patriots with momentum. With a Patriots team that's beatable and a Lions team that's beatable. So with their schedule start to light up a little bit, maybe they might be able to get this ball rolling and back in the right direction. But before that happens, this team is still very talented. There's still weapons on this team, and they're getting healthier as time goes on. So I do think this team could rebound and make a push to the playoff and possibly even the Super Bowl. It's just all about getting rid of the cancer.
So if they lose, they're 4-5. What are your expectations at that point?
I'll probably shut down Baker for the rest of the season.
You would play Case Keenum the rest of the season? You're saying because of the shoulder injury?
Yeah,
Okay.
4-5 is not worth it anymore. Just shut him down.
So what you're saying is if the Bengals win this game, then the Browns are no longer Super Bowl contenders in your opinion?
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably fair. Because if you fall to 4-5, then you're potentially falling to the last place team in the AFC North this week because you've got the Ravens who are going to be ahead of you no matter what, and then you got the Steelers who are playing the fucking Bears. Right, the
season is over. Yeah, I get it, but
at the same time, you can win with Case Keenum.
Yeah, there's still a lot of season left. That's pretty heavy to say with 8 games left. Like the Browns could easily win 7 out of 8 of the last games if they really wanted to. Like they could run off these games, and there are 7 teams that make the playoffs. And there are 8 games in the playoff and left in the season after this game.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't. The AFC is so competitive. I just don't see a loss right here being good for the long-term hopes for this team at all.
I cannot imagine that you're going to get a whole lot of positivity out of 4-5, especially after you had such a promising start, especially after all those expectations. But I've said it before. I'll say it again. I think the Browns are going to bounce back from this Odell situation. I don't necessarily. Now, we said it on the Battle of Ohio podcast predictions. I don't necessarily think the Browns are going to win this game, but I do believe that the Browns are overall going to bounce back from this. I think it's going to be a rough game this week, and then it could be almost back to where they were before. Once they kind of get a couple of wins in their system after that.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
So, on the Odell Beckham situation, you mentioned on the Battle of Ohio podcast while we were recording that the Odell Beckham situation is it's creating drama in that locker room. Do you think that drama is going to negatively impact the team on the field?
No,
I
don't think so. Because the reality, I mentioned the Raiders. The Raiders were able to win a game after firing their coach. Jaguars were able to win a game with Urban Meyer's distractions. teams win games with distractions all the time. It's the NFL, and these are NFL players. This is a team that made the playoff last year. They should not allow something like Odell Beckham distract them from getting their goals. This is something that we all deal with in life. We all deal with outside problems, outside influences in life, but we should never let our outside influences keep us from our goal. So, do I think it can? Yeah, but if you're a weak-minded person, you will let things like this distract you. But the fact of the matter is, Odell Beckham ain't keeping you from throwing that ball accurate. Odell Beckham ain't keeping you from tackling. Odell Beckham ain't keeping you from reading coverage. Odell Beckham ain't keeping you from making the catches. Odell Beckham ain't keeping you from winning. If he's not on that field, then I don't want to hear about him.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not gonna condemn that as the reason of any distractions. I'm just not. I don't believe in that. I'm sorry. I just don't. Like ESPN gonna talk no matter what. Just let ESPN talk. But it's up if you're an NFL player, it's up to your job to be able to shut out the noise and be able to focus on your work. That's something that you're literally trained to do. And if you can't do that, then you're not a winner.
All right. So, Thomas, we do this thing on the Battle of Ohio podcast YouTube channel that everybody should definitely go check out. We live stream our predictions every week, which we actually just got done doing that before we recorded this segment. So everybody should definitely go check out that. It's always a good time. We do it during the we do it during the Monday night or the Thursday night game, whichever one's going on. And so while we're doing that, we record our reactions to the game as well, and it's just a fun time. Y'all should go check that out. But what was your pick for this game? What do you think is going to happen? What is your final prediction?
I hesitantly picked the Browns, and I say hesitantly because I'm not confident with it. I'm not. But I'm going with the Browns because honestly, the only reason why I'm going with the Browns is because I just think Baker Mayfield is about to be motivated to a new level this game. I just think the power of motivation is just gonna, I think the chip on his shoulder is going to be the size of, it's going to be huge. But also, like I said, I see this team unraveling, so I'm not confident with that pick. Mm-hmm. I'm not 100. I'm not like yeah, rah. I'm just, the only reason why I'm going with that is because when I listen to the beat reporters and I listen to all the people who are in the buildings of the Browns facility, they're all saying that there's a heightened focus in that facility right now, and that is no coincidence that more than one person is saying that. So there might be a little hidden motivation right now, and they understand that if they lose this game, they will be out of the playoff race. And I think that this is a desperate Browns team that's going to play very desperate on Sunday, and they're going to cross their T's and dot their I's to the highest ability. So you're going to get the Browns' best effort on Sunday.
All right.
So yeah. So that's why I'm going to Browns.
All right, Thomas. Well, we're gonna see what happens. I think the Bengals got this one. Obviously, you think otherwise, but it's definitely going to be a game where both teams really, really need this one. I mean, obviously, I think the Browns need this one a little bit more than the Bengals need this one. But with with the culture the Bengals are trying to build, with the season that the Bengals are trying to put together, it almost kind of feels like if you don't win this game, then all that talk just feels like it's for nothing. Like I said with the Browns, I believe the Browns are going to bounce back from all this drama. With the Bengals, I believe the Bengals could bounce back from this after the fact. But at the end of the day, I do think right now the Cincinnati Bengals are a more talented football team than the Cleveland Browns. And I think the Browns have the better head coach. But I also think that Zach Taylor is starting to prove that he himself is a pretty good head coach in his own right. So maybe not as good as Kevin Stefanski, but pretty good. And then you got all that talent. You got somebody like Joe Burrow. That's my thoughts about the game. But I appreciate everybody watching here on YouTube. You can always check out more of what I do at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter and Facebook.com/ThePhelps. Go check me out on atbnetwork.com, where I do a bunch of Bengals content. As you guys know, I do the power rankings for them, which is, in relation to that video that I produced earlier this week and that I'll be doing going through the rest of the season. I do a lot of Bengals content. yeah, go check me out on all those channels. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you like the content. It really helps out my channel, and it helps me know what you guys like so I can produce more of the content that you guys like. Thomas, can you let them know where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me at the Thomas J Network. You can also find me at on TikTok and on YouTube. You can also find me on tstar_94 on Instagram and tstar94 on Twitter.
Right.
T_star94 on Twitter.
And you know where else you can find him, guys? You can find him on the Battle of Ohio podcast, which
The
I will
greatest podcast
also
in Ohio.
the greatest podcast in the world, actually.
That's great.
That's an interesting claim right there.
A
But
lot
I
of
will be
pressure.
linking the Battle of Ohio podcast in the description of this episode, as I do with all the clips that I take from that podcast. I'll be linking that in the description, and you guys go check that out because it's some good content. Go check out me and Thomas at Bengal Jim's Tailgate Experience in Lot E. Me and him are both going to be there hanging out and doing a live edition of the Battle of Ohio podcast. I am going to finish this one off like I finish off every episode with a hooday.
Go Browns.
No.